Hey guys, before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that whenever you see any of the videos, if they're listed in the lore or the series in general, just know that they're coming from my heart, my head canon, my brain. Nothing too serious. Some of the stuff is canon or taken from references, but not everything is as concrete as it seems. Also, if you ever have any construction criticism, always let me know. I'm trying to make this series a lot better and just make my content better. Sorry for the delay on some of these parts and getting out more content. Just been really busy lately and trying to take care of business. But as you know, the videos will keep rolling and I will keep on growing. So thanks for hearing me out, guys. Take care and enjoy part 3. Here we go. Its special move is exploding its Holy Spirit, instantly mowing down the opponents in every direction. From the ominous shadow above, fighter mode prepared to end its assailants once and for all. As DIGIMON watched from below, it believed its existence was at an end. The sky turned dark as black clouds with rippling thunder adorned the area. It seemed perfect to slaughter the sovereigns. Before the final blow was struck, a torrent of lightning erupted from the sky. As the roar of the Sarai was heard, fighter mode was blown back. From the clouds emerged the final sovereign, the Azure Dragon, Azulongmon. Not looking any worse for wear, fighter mode laughed as Azulongmon is the only thing that currently stood against it. The laughing then ceased when two figures appeared alongside it. From the shining pink and gold lights, these were two holy dragons. Yes, it was Dramon and Holy Dramon. Their shining lights healed the Digimon of the area, allowing the wounded sovereigns and DIGIMON to get back up. As the three sovereigns withdrew from the battle, fighter mode laughed. The fourth sovereign summoned to the battlefield did not show up to fight with its fellow sovereigns. Azulongmon would agree, and explain that when discussed about Dragon Mode's rampage, the other three sovereigns simply wanted to destroy it. However, Azulongmon wanted fighter mode defeated, but not destroyed. Not seeing eye to eye on how to handle the situation, Azulongmon sought help and found that in two of the great holy dragons. Reacting angrily, fighter mode would retort about how Digimon infused with Black Digitron have been outcasted and attacked by other Digimon for a very long time. The use of Black Digitron allowed fighter mode down this path of the Emperor, and from this day forth, he shall be known as Imperialdramon, as it will conquer the world. As Holy Dramon would speak back that all they want to do is help both of them, fighter mode would yell, as it would say, "Feel the storm of vengeance," as it would try to blast them with its cannon. However, leading the charge would be Dramon, as it charged in with its God Fist. The punch shook fighter mode, and this fight instantly became more difficult than expected. Even before it could try to make a comeback, the Holy Flame raged fighter mode engulfing it, and Azulongmon dove down to DIGIMON, who believed it was going to be attacked. After getting in close, a blue and red creature emerged from Dramon's arms, pinning fighter mode down as Dramon attempted to place its hand on the fighter mode's chest. The blue and red creature grabbing fighter mode and holding it stiff allowed Dramon to see into the soul of fighter mode. As it peered in, it saw two Digimon floating in the void. Before getting to address them, fighter mode headbutted Dramon off and used its cannon to blast it away. Holy Dramon dove in, attempting to assist, but was easily tossed away. However, before fighter mode could easily blast it back, from below, blue lightning and purple fire hit fighter mode. To its surprise, both DIGIMON and Azulongmon moved in sequence to stand aside two holy dragons. As he would laugh, four of the greatest dragons stood against it, but it wouldn't save them. As both sides would eventually clash, the area was shook. Many Digimon ran, but some were drawn in, specifically those of the dark variants. They had heard the legend and wanted to see the black dragon and were amazed. As the area became a crater and the sun moved to its highest point, both sides were depleted. Almost like a grudge match, both sides would never have given up anything in their attempt to defeat one another. However, it still seemed to be the case that the great dragons were holding back, as by Azulongmon's request, fighter mode could be helped and stopped without having to destroy it. Fighter mode, realizing this, remembered something important. The seal the sovereigns had attempted to use on it before was still in place and could still be used, as it decided to hatch a new plan. As Holydramon and Goddramon pressured fighter mode, it became clear that to stop fighter mode, one massive attack was needed in order to try to subdue it. Megidramon would speak to Azulongmon before this attack was attempted, as something needed to be cleared up, as they decided to take almost a seemingly breather moment from the fight. As Fire Mode eventually was able to force Goddramon and Holydramon apart, both of them decided to spread apart to make distance, glowing as they prepared for one last blast. However, Azulongmon, understanding the situation, decided to join on the third side as well, forming a triangle position around them. However, unknowing to them, Fighter Mode had been concealing the ground, using its cannon fire to create dust, not showing what they were doing, as, believe it or not, it had been positioning them the whole time. As Fighter Mode now stood in the center of the crater that it was once in, sinking to the ground with Megidramon, it raised its cannon high in the arm and began to charge up. As the bolt got bigger and bigger, Dragon Mode finally spoke up that it was time for the ultimate risk for the ultimate prize. Plunging its arm into the ground, firing everything it had into the center began to reverberate, absorbing the energy, and seemingly launching into the three seals of the sovereigns before. Azulongmon could not warn the others in time, as it finally realized what was going on. As almost seemingly as they were used before on Dragon Mode, they were being reversed in the case by Fighter Mode. As the torrents of energy erupted into the three base seals, they began to surround the great dragons. As Fighter Mode looked around, Digimon began to congregate, as even Megidramon gathered. With the three great dragons seemingly vanished, Fighter Mode assumed that the battle would resume with these newcomers going to attack it in its weakened state. As it attempted to raise its arm one more time, however, Megidramon and the other Digimon bowed. As many of the Digimon decided to kneel as well, they pledged their loyalty to Imperialdramon. If it could smile, Fighter Mode would. Now it was in control of a legion of Digimon who would now serve as its fist and be the beginning of the domination era. As now Fighter Mode would lead its own group, the Dark Forces. In the parts prior, we saw that the Digimon that forged their own path on their destiny that led them down darkness has now reached a new pinnacle. From becoming those that once fought against those that would harm them are now going to be the ones that harm others. If we were to learn anything from this part of the story, it is that in our pursuit of power, there are times that people will recognize it, no matter if it's the good or the bad. I'd like to point out the parallels to different characters in fiction before, as I do think this is a great reflection, and one of the best I could think of as an example is probably those based in Transformers of what became of Megatron. Now, for those of you who do not know the story of Megatron exactly or wonder why this is important, I will put it like this. Megatron was once someone who had good intentions, and or depending on the universe that you're looking at, he's a gladiator that becomes a revolutionary that eventually becomes basically a monster. But in the case of Imperialdramon's parallel to this one, this is more of the story of inspiring others even though you're doing something wrong. Just because of what's going on in the digital world, it does not mean that the Dark Variant Digimon and other Digimon that kind of fall into this wanting to be accepted but always being rejected by their counterparts will not find their leader in fighter mode. And fighter mode right now is seeing that. In the case of fighter mode, the dark forces are assembling. Now, how will they carry out their campaigns and what it will cost? As I do believe that the peak of fighter mode's war is about to get the eyes of other Digimon who normally wouldn't be involved, as the upper echelon of the digital world's defenses are going to be brought in at some point. However, will he be ready to stand up against them, or will the forces of light stand against the dark forces altogether? Now, this was part 3, guys. Part 4 will be coming out sooner than later. I've already tried to draft the script out quicker. And I just want to thank you for listening today. If you have any comments, and it would help out if you liked the video, go ahead and leave it down below. I am signing off, and I want all of you out there to sign on.